7:21 on a Tuesday morning. Welcome back. One of my favorite writers is here from Queen's University, Robert Morrison. He is a professor of English language and literature. Once again, published by the prestigious source for scholar writing and reading, theconversation.com, Why Rod Stewart's Gay Ballad Georgie Was Ahead of Its Time. Welcome.
Thank you very, very much.
Why Rod Stewart for this particular subject for this article? You're a huge fan, first of all.
I'm a huge fan of Rod Stewart. I have lost friends when I've said, you know who I really love? I really love Rod. I have always really liked him. I've liked his voice. I've liked his live performances. I've liked the way his sort of delivery of a song.
You've seen him live, I think, 87 times.
Not 87 times. I wish I'd seen him live 87
but
times.
But a lot.
A lot, yeah. I love going to see him. And one of the things I love is that he's 72 now, and he's having a lot of fun. I mean, he's having a lot of fun. And, having fun in your 20s is pretty straightforward. In your 40s and 50s and 60s, in my experience, it gets a little bit more complicated. And it's fantastic to watch somebody who just loves what they're doing so much.
I never really thought about it until you wrote this article. I always equated Rod Stewart with, not the disco scene, but good music, fun music, relationship songs, of course, and then Forever Young, sort of a little bit of a serious subject matter there. But Georgie was probably the first song of its kind at that time. Explain why.
Well, I think that there's a lot of sort of layers to Rod Stewart, and there's sort of a silly and a frivolous one for sure. But I can remember very clearly being 13 years old or 14 years old and seeing the video of Rod Stewart singing The Killing of Georgie, and I didn't really understand. I mean, it's quite something just to call a pop song The Killing of. And it's a ballad. He comes out and he tells a story. And at the very beginning, as of course you know, he says, Georgie boy was gay, I guess, nothing more, nothing less, the kindest guy I ever knew. And I can remember thinking, wow. That's really something. This is a very, very popular song that I've had lots of people write to me and say, I love that song. I love that song. And to come out and say he's gay, I guess, so it doesn't matter, nothing more, nothing less. What matters is how kind people are. Kindness matters. Sexual orientation, it doesn't matter. He's a person. And for Stewart to come out and declare that and then describe how he is essentially killed because of his sexuality in the so-called liberated days of the 1970s is, I think, a magnificent statement from the best voice in rock and roll.
Let's go back and take a look at that clip right now.
Okay.
In these days of changing ways, so-called liberated days, a story comes to mind of a friend of mine. Georgie boy was gay, I guess, nothing more or nothing less, the kindest guy I ever knew.
One of the first pop songs to mention the word gay, I think.
Yeah.
And the subject matter.
Yeah. And if you're me, Bill, growing up in Lethbridge, Alberta, and you turn on the screen and you see that guy looking like that, you think to yourself, there's not very many people around here who look like that. Do you know, he looked different, he sang different, he was singing about somebody who was gay, who was different, and he was celebrating that person's life and that person's experience. And for me, it's sort of the world changed. I thought, right, this doesn't matter. And I think great art, that is your sexual preference doesn't matter. Great art, great lyrics lift us up like that. They make us think differently about the world around us. And hopefully they make us more liberal-minded and more compassionate. And when we look out now at what, for example, the leader Donald Trump is doing, it's very, very frightening. I think people on the left felt like, okay, we're making progress. And then someone comes along with comments like he makes, and the liberated days seem like they're in the 70s and not now. And I wrote it because I'd like us to get back to thinking in much more accepting and sympathetic and compassionate ways about people that are different than us. But if he's the kindest guy you ever knew, what matters is kindness.
Very well said. We only got about a minute here. I wish I could spend a lot of time talking about this. But another song in the 70s, I think it was before The Killing of Georgie, was Billy Joe McAllister jumping off the
cow.
And because he was gay, he was killed, or he killed himself.
He jumped. Yeah.
But the Rod Stewart song sort of brings it more to a feeling that everyone should be aware of.
Yeah, and Rod, I mean, he's a British singer, obviously. It's happening in New York, and the record company doesn't want him to do it. And I really, I really admire him for saying, this is a part of how I think and who I am. And I really celebrate the fact that a lot of people listen to it, and a lot of people, I think, thought differently about gayness because of it, thought more expansively, and that's one of the things that great lyrics can do.
There's a reason why Robert Morrison is one of my favorite writers. You can read the full column article, theconversation.com, why Rod Stewart's gay ballad, Georgie, was ahead of its time. We thank you so much, sir. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Bill. Thank you.
Stay with us. Still so much more here on The Morning Show. We'll see you after the break. Wishing you a fantastic morning.